Hello, geeks and gamers. Matt Lemke here with Through Gamer Goggles, and today we have another flip through. This flip through is the Bastards of Golarion for the Pathfinder game system. It's a different approach to a lot of their companion books in the sense that it has some very unique approaches to what a half race type character is. And one of the interesting things I found is this map that's right on the inside cover. It's a map of all the different racial territories. Down in the bottom you have all the little codes. Like, for example, the tiefling is this little red torch looking thing, and you got tieflings here, 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 here. Basically they're red areas. And then obviously you have table of contents in the reference table. And with every one of these books, the companions tell you what they're going to focus on. This one focuses on bards, fighters, magi, rogues, and then they have the little thing for every character. There's themes, heritages, and traits. A very important section of the book is this little word on bastards and what a bastard is within the context of this book. And of course, you will see throughout the book art. Now, some of the interesting things here are, they start with obviously probably one of the most famous bastards in all of fantasy setting, and that's the Half-Elves. I mean, they've been around since D&D was created, which, was the grandfather of all these games. Or maybe you want to call it the matriarch of all these games, gave birth to what we now know as a role-playing world. So they have, for every race that they include in this, they have a section on the race in society where, for example, they have half-elves in a human society, and then they have half-elves in an elven society. So there's two different approaches to developing your character as to how your character was raised. Was he raised by humans, or was he raised by the race? And at the end of each one of those, there's a trait for being raised within that particular society. And we'll take a look at the half-elf raised in the elf society. You embody peace of the elven way of life and apply this philosophy to your interactions with others. You gain a +2 trait bonus on diplomacy and handle animal checks to calm other creatures. Quite interesting. And then they have, in this particular section, they have a new magic item. And of course they have heritages, which you're not going to be able to see on this page, but when you turn the page, you have, I'll take it back. You can see it because there's the aquatic elves there. Then you have the drow, the wild-born elves, the spire-born, and the snow-born elves. And at the bottom of each of the descriptions of these, there is a racial trait that can be applied to being one of those half-elves. And then another thing they do is they talk about, in this instance, Arages is an all half-elven city. So it's an interesting idea. There's a Green Sting Slayer, which is an archetype for the mages, who has Arcane Pull, Evasion, Improved Evasion, Magus Arcana, and then there's also regional traits for being in the city. There's an Expert Smuggler, a Spell Duel Prodigy, and we move into half-orcs. And I used half-orc society, so let's look at a half-orc raised by a human. Iron Control. This is kind of interesting. You learn the hard way that expressing the rage you inherited from your orc blood exhiberates humans' fearful and hostile reactions to you. After years of effort, you've mastered self-control and buried your anger deep. Whenever you are confused and roll to determine behavior in a given round, subtract 10 from the result. It's interesting. Uh, and then, of course, they do the same thing. They have a new magic item for the elves, and in this case, it's a kin's face tattoo. They have half-orc heritages, and then they start moving into the half-elf archetype templates, which they have. Oops, I don't even remember what that one was now. The Gloomkin. They have Sandkin, Rainkin, the Mountain half-orcs with the Cragkin, and the Frostkin. Now, the alternate racial trait for the Frostkin is Unflinching Valor, which basically you gain a +2 racial bonus on saving throws against fear effects, and a +1 racial bonus to command. Sorry, that's a miniatures game. To CMD to avoid being grappled. And then they have the half-orc city of Averica. Averica. I said Averka. And then they have a bard archetype, which actually I kind of want to make, an orc bard. I'm not sure how well he would sing, but I'm sure that I might sing better than him, so this might go over well at the gaming table. And, one of the regional traits that they have is open-minded explorer. You grew up constantly interacting with people who speak unfamiliar languages and have diverse customs. Your manners may not be polished, but your acceptance of others is genuine. This bonus, you gain a +1 trait on diplomacy checks. This bonus increases to 2 when you're speaking the racial or ethnic language of the target creature. I thought that was very interesting. And then they have a little thing. This double page fold-out is on unusual origins, and they list guildmen, vampires, fetchlings, and changelings, which the half-changeling kind of seems like it would be an interesting character to me. And then they have things on a bastard's origins. Now, it's important to note maybe that the first sentence over here kind of sums things up of what you're going to expect. When someone spits the word bastard as an insult, what they are saying is that you're a lowlife, that you're scum, that you're someone less of a person. There is a reason this insult exists. Those who are born of two worlds are rarely wholly accepted by either one. And that is where this comes into play. There's half-humans on Golarion. There's bastards of circumstance and certain different character themes. For example, there's the Harbinger. Particularly in rural settlements far off the beaten path, townsfolk sometimes believe that a child born under an unusual omen is destined for greatness. Such a birth might coincide with the unique alignment of celestial bodies, the eruption of a long-dormant volcano, the death of a local hero, or other mysterious events. This fate brings with it the life of harsh expectations and sometimes persecution. Marked by unknown forces is a social trait that which, let's see here, where's the benefit? Well, you may cast light 3 times per day as a spell-like ability, but this ability only targets the palm of your hand, and it manifests as a glowing sigil representing your ominous birth. I thought that was quite interesting. And then there's the intermediary, the celebrity, which seems like more of an NPC class to me, not something I would attempt to play. And then they give example backgrounds for the celebrity that you can roll randomly, or just obviously pick. There's a little insert for dangerous habits to increase the character or the personality of the character. Then there's the illegitimate, which is disgraced, persecuted, and slandered. This is often for barbarians, fighters, and rogues. And then they list the different traits and example backgrounds. And then you have the outcast, which is probably the one most of us would, I think, kind of play. Then they have the unfortunate, which, yeah, I guess that fits too, and it's a great way to round out your character's background. And then they also do the same thing. They have the traits. For example, the unfortunate has cynical ear. Neither honeyed tongues or righteous wrath move you much. Add 2 when determining your hit dice for intimidate checks, and increase the DC or all diplomacy checks against you by 2. For the right type of character, it's a good background. And then there's a section on other bastards, and you have Asimirs, Changelings, Dhamphirs, Fetchlings, and some of these list other abilities that they can have with them. For example, we'll go with Oreeds. They have Stoic Dignity. You are an unmoving rock for those who see you, and an authority figure. As long as you are conscious, you and all your allies within 10 feet gain a +1 bonus on saving throws against mind-affecting effects you are not already suffering from. And then Distant Heritage is a way to put in, like, you appear more to be human, or you have certain traits that go way back lineage, like maybe your great-great-grandfather was half Asimir, type of thing. And basically what these rules do is they incorporate the rules found in the Advanced Race Guide from page 214. And they give you different human racial traits. For example, they give you the points for some of these right off the bat, like linguist, flexible bonus feat, skilled. All those things get figured right in. And then they come over here and they talk about common features. For example, those with a hint of celestial blood from the Asimir often have imposing presence that melts instantly when they deem it important to offer comfort to allies or other troops. So, the Asimir have a skill bonus with an RP cost of 2. Elves might have elven immunities. Fae have spell-like ability, lesser, any, 1 to 2 racial point cost. Now, on the back, you have inherited feature is a random generator that can be used by itself or in conjunction with the distant heritages, and you can roll randomly for different races to be in your bloodline. So this is it. This book, in my opinion, turned out to be a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It focused a little bit more on the core races than I anticipated, but the things that they do is they take your character development to a step where they teach you how to use another book, albeit that they have already published, but they teach you how to use it a little bit more effectively, and they highlight it so that you have the freedom to do a lot more with your character, which I think for a great many of us that buy these smaller books, the Player's Companions, that's what we're seeking to do. We're seeking to round out our character and give that character more personality and influence within our comrades that are in our adventuring party. So, as far as Bastards of Golarion goes, I am glad that this was an investment made by myself, and it is something that I can apply to any half character I have created, or any half character that I wish to create. For example, knowing that the Advanced Race Guide is here, I could probably make a half Minotaur character if I wished, or a character that has Minotaur qualities based off of bloodline. So, thanks for watching. This has been a flip through with Matt Lemke and through Gamer Goggles. Have a good day.